Hello, and welcome to this Whimsical Wednesday Intuitive Energy Update. My name is Lisa Lyle. This is my channel here on YouTube. If you're new, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I trust that something here will touch and support your beautiful healing heart. Please do take a moment to subscribe to the channel. And if you've been traveling with me for a while, thank you so much for being here. Welcome back. And also, if you could please check and make sure you're still subscribed to the channel, that would be fantastic. So I've pulled out the big guns this morning because it's definitely needed. So we're just going to start with three sounds of the singing bowl. So just take a moment here, really straighten your spine. Relax your shoulders and breathe deeply into your belly. So, how y'all doing? These messages aren't truly date or time specific, although the date is today, October the 19th, 2022, and we are a handful of days away from our partial solar eclipse. And if you tuned into the Monday musings, the Moon Day musings with Lisa, you will have known I was feeling something kind of funky in the air. Something's up, and it's still present and has been since that time. So I feel like we're moving into this really energetic time of the year. With eclipse season here and Halloween coming up, there's something about, and so I'm just encouraging you and strongly suggesting that you take very good care of yourself at this time and really honor what your needs are. And perhaps you're really needy these days and you're really needing to show up for yourself. Do that, because if you don't show up for yourself, who else is going to? And if you have people in your life that are there for you, wonderful. Everybody, though, is being called to show up for themselves. And so this card wanted to flip. And it's come out in some of the readings I've done recently as well. Winter's End, regeneration, rebirth, and a positive outcome. It's number 16, which comes to a 7. So again, this is about taking care of yourself. And listening to yourself. And okay, so you're a little more needy, you need more rest these days, just do it. You're not going to miss out on anything. You're not going to, no opportunity is going to pass you by. No knight in shining armor is going to pass you by if you take time out to care for yourself. And if you don't, eventually what you will come to understand is illness and disease will stop you in your tracks, right? So this is what happens when we don't pay attention. On my Facebook page, Wisdom of the Heart, starting this Friday, we're having Health is Freedom Fridays. And all the posts on the Fridays going forward are all about health and ways that we can take care of ourselves. Because in this day and age, there's so much emphasis put on the external, the white coat medicine idea. And, we are innate children of God, and we have wisdom and medicine within us. The earth, offers us medicine freely, and we just need to get back in touch with our roots. And we do that through healing of our roots. So this week is calling for some extra TLC on all counts. and you're worthy and deserving of the extra TLC. So do it. Show up for yourself. What else is coming up? For those who are interested, oh, that's beautiful. For those who are interested, my Patreon channel is up and running now, and the first sort of public offering or membership offering is going to be the new moon circle with the partial solar eclipse on the 25th. So there'll be some information that'll be shared there in the coming days, as well as a ceremony and perhaps a crystal grid on the day of. On November the 1st, we will have our first taboo talk, and where we are going to talk all about GODD. I'm just saying it like that, so I don't want to get deleted here. We will be talking about on the first taboo talk, and those will be bi-weekly, so the 1st and the 15th of every month. So if you think that that's something that you might be interested in being a part of, the link for memberships is in the description box below, as well as links for yearly 2023 month by month energy forecasts. The messages coming through are really beautiful. And after the year that we've been through, as we move into this universal 7 year, there is a distinct shift. And it comes back to our personal responsibility. We can't solve anything on a global level. Governments aren't going to solve anything on a global level. It's about you and I, grassroots movements in our home countries, boots on the ground or bare feet to the ground, doing the rebuild from here. And that's what it's going to take. So, and that's what it's going to take for us to achieve this fulfillment, harmony, and what's that last word? Protection. Okay, so the 9 of Hearts, it's a 37, which is a 1. This is all about, this card to me is always about, like, what is it that you want to do? What is your path and purpose in this lifetime? And are you doing it? And it's really important for you to know that as you do it, you are safe, guided, and protected. Not sure who we always feel we need to be protected from, yet, it's becoming more obvious these days that we do need to protect ourselves from outside entities that want to control us from the outside in, right? They want to control everything we do, we say, what we ingest, what we take in, what we believe, what we buy, blah, 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 blah. I'm so over it because it's about you and I. What is going to be most fulfilling to you? What is it that you're here to do? Because right now, this is a perfect time for us to really shift gears into a more sustainable way of living long term on this planet and with our fellows. It's time to really shift into more of I'm being guided to say, like, a barter system, because right now we are just slaves. Every single person, I don't care your race, your age, anything, you are a slave to the grindstone. You're a slave to go out there and work just to pay bills, to take a trip maybe once a year. I mean, it's so BS. It's sickening, actually. It's sickening. When our focus while here on Mother Earth should be Mother Earth, our connection to it. The Gaia is the high vibratory name of Mother Earth, and Gaia is an ascending planet, and we are ascending with the planet and in harmony with the planet. So I feel that there's a strong call for us this week to get out and touch nature, allow nature to support you through these wonky energies that may feel a little intense, may feel a little off, may feel a little confused, and everything that's going on externally, like the confusion, the division, all of this is intention. It is done with intention. You are the target. Your consciousness, your soul is the target. It's the prize, if you will, for those who demonize and dehumanize and devalue, hold no value into human life. So you are the prize, and as a result, you are probably very confused. I mean, we're at a time which I never imagined we would be living through, where children are confused as to whether they're girls or boys. I mean, this is absolute insanity. And there are adults that are supporting the insanity, and there are agendas and organizations and institutions that are promoting it and encouraging it. And God says, full stop to the fool-la-la. It's nonsense. And until somebody's brave enough to say it, until people are courageous enough to speak up for what they find offensive to our innate intelligence, you and I are souls. We have an innate intelligence as eternally connected to source while here in the physical, in the flesh, the meat suit. If something insults your soul, why do we accept it? So many people, we've gotten to a point, and the television and these external forces that care nothing for you or I or our children have done their job well to divide us, so that we are afraid to say something. See, my connection's unstable now. To say something because, they'll cancel us because we're saying something that's going to hurt someone's feelings. Oh, well, sorry. We never would have had such confusion, back in the day. There was never such confusion. And now confusion is the call of the day, the order of the day. And it's going to take courageous men and women, children of the light, children of God, to stand up. Stop the appropriation of humans, men, women, and children. Stop it. It doesn't come down to one race. It doesn't come down to, one part in the world. In fact, it's predominantly happening here in North America, because North America is the prize, the land of the free. Nobody's free here. You're all slaves. We're all slaves. The angel of hearts. Speak from your heart. Speak your truth. Don't be afraid. We've got the 9 of hearts, and now we've got the angel of hearts, and this is truth. What are we so afraid of? Truth doesn't change. What I say to the whole gender bending confusion nonsense that's going on, okay? What you do in your bedroom, hey, that's between you and whoever's in the sheets with you, right? As long as it's consenting, it's none of anybody's business, right? All this gender bending nonsense, 100 years from now, when we're nothing but a bag of bones, they'll dig me up and they'll dig my son up, and they're going to say, oh, that was a woman and that was a man. Nothing else, right? It's all in the pelvis. It's all in the bones, folks. So they're not going to really give two hoots about how we identified or misidentified or what we were confused about. Truth doesn't care about what we identify with. It doesn't change, right? So we have to get to the basics, and this week is really getting us to the basics. Let's talk about the basics. Okay, this is a number 9, so this is the second number 9 card that we've had here, and the Winter's End. No, this is the first number 9. It was the 9 of hearts, but that was a 10, and this is a 9. So we're coming to the end of foolishness, if you will. And there may be some who continue to go on and kick and scream, I don't even know. It's funny. As I was laying in bed last night, just before I was drifting off to sleep, I was thinking about this idea today, there's this thing, I'm sure you've seen it out there, safe space. Everybody needs to have a safe space, you know, to go and just, I guess, to be able to cope with the world. Again, because their feelings were hurt, or they were presented with some truth that they, aren't really able to process or accept. And so we give all these safe spaces. And so it's created this idea that the world is an unsafe space. Back in when I was, in the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, there weren't these like special places for like the sensitives. And I've been sensitive my whole life. Um, but now we're creating a society where, oh, you don't like what somebody said, oh, here's a safe space for you to go, and everybody here is going to agree with you. It's nonsense. And again, the connection's unstable. They're trying to reconnect. I don't even know if this is going. Social media has become unsafe for all of us, anyone who has any common sense, or has truth to share, or wants to support the upliftment of others. It's quite an unstable and unsafe space to be if you have common sense, if you're someone who has the ability to see through the BS, the deception, the lies that we have been spoon-fed our entire lives. It's time to stop. And this is why I guess I created a safe space over on Patreon, so I can talk without having to censor myself, and hopefully those who are guided to me, to support in lifting them up, and to encourage them to speak and share truth too, because it takes a village. It takes a village for us to all come back from this insanity, and for us to get right with God in this moment, to get right with source if God is offensive to you. Because there's things that are happening now, blocking puberty, lopping off children's breasts, that can't be taken back 10 years from now when everyone comes to their senses, right? So we need people, multiple people, to talk, straight from the heart. And thank you for doing your part. We got a couple more cards here. Good Fortune, number 35, and the Gateway 3, Evolution, number 38 and 35. So we've got an 11 and an 8. Our eternal souls want us to walk the path of mastery, not to walk this lifetime going along with stuff that is absolute lunacy. Okay, it's up to you and I to come back to our senses, to trust in universal forces that are Team Humanity. What is playing out on this planetary realm? The controllers, the overlords, those who want to govern you, don't give two hoots about you, are not Team Humanity. Okay? This is true. I don't care if you idolize them. Idolatry is not a cool thing. Okay? False idols, science, the speed of science. What is that? Has anybody ever heard of that before? Like the speed of science? Political science, the speed of dollar signs flying in front of their eyes. There is no such thing. And we have to stop. And again, it's up to you and I, it's up to the brave, courageous speakers of truth to come back to their senses, to use their voice for good, to lift others up, because the earth is abundant. There is no one here. There is more than enough for all of us. That's resources, food, shelter, silver and gold, right? Money's fake. Money's fake. It's all fake. It's a fake system. Everybody bought into it. It's fake. Your debt is fake, right? It's all fake. Fake news, fake reality. That's what we're living in. And so we have to come back to some level of consciousness. And this week, as we move towards this partial solar eclipse, this is what is being asked of you. and trust that good fortune is on the horizon. Your path of mastery is all about your spiritual evolution in this lifetime and beyond. And what you do here now matters in this lifetime and beyond. You're not here to devolve. I mean, this is what we're seeing happening on the planet, this devolution. Everybody's getting, I'm just going to say it, like, stupid. Come on. I find stupid offensive. And there may be people that find me offensive for saying that. And, you know, may we both be forgiven for our transgressions, right? I mean, we just have to start calling out things as they are. We have to stop pussyfooting around because we don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Lots of us grew up with our feelings hurt a lot, right? It's a part of character building, right? It's a part of character building. We're not all the same. We're all unique children of God, created in the image and likeness of Source, of this higher consciousness. And it's time we started acting accordingly, you know? And if we're offended, then perhaps there's an opportunity there for us to reflect, for us to go deeper into our hearts. We had two cards here that talked about the heart, right? The Nine of Hearts, truth, and the Angel of Hearts. Again, truth. What was the Nine of Hearts? Fulfillment, harmony, and protection, right? I don't need to tell you what to believe. We don't need, you know, and yet I will say, if you're believing what you're being spoon-fed through the television, through your handheld device, perhaps it's time to disconnect for a bit, go to nature, and allow your heart to support your awakening to divine truth, right? Because there are some truths, it doesn't matter how much screaming from the rooftops. And quite honestly, the more that they're screaming from the rooftops, the less likely I am to believe it, the less inclined I am to believe that's true, right? If we have to scream loud, you know, if we have to repeat it over and over and over, is it a truth or is it just a programming technique? Like, remember, they don't do this anymore. When I was in school, though, we had to memorize the times tables, right? Up to 12. We had to memorize those times tables. And we had spelling words that we had to memorize every week. Gone are those days, right? Now they're just like over and over, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. You know, there's one of these lines that came about with the virus that's like, if I didn't take the medicine, it would have been worse. That's like a parrot. You're a parrot. If you've said that line, you're a parrot. How do you know? Because I'm pretty sure I had it. And I was up walking around, moving around. I couldn't smell or taste anything for 10 days. Yeah, that's true. I was walking around. It was no worse than, you know, with the exception of not being able to taste or smell anything for 10 days. I missed lilac and lily of the valley season. It was terrible. Yet, you know, there's this, the line is like, oh, it could have been so much worse if I didn't take the juice. How do you know? That's just a silly, like, you know, I hear that and I'm like, oh, you know, I blah, 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 blah. I don't hear anything after that because it's so, it lacks from my perspective, there's a lack of intelligence there. If that's a line that's being said, it lacks any sort of like innate intelligence. And so I don't disrespect people. I just don't really hold them in high esteem if that's a line that they've sent my way. And we've got the angel of psychic abilities and we've got the angel of relaxation. So it goes right back to the beginning of this message, which is getting long. There is a funky energy in the air. There's a lot of wonkiness and we're being, there's a lot of new energy coming to the planet at this time. And we are all being impacted by it. And so it's really important that we rest and perhaps this week, rest more. And what I'm feeling here, just from the imagery of these cards, yes, we're all highly intuitive. It says your intuitive and psychic abilities are strong at present. And then the angel of relaxation says, let go of desired outcomes and you will get what you want. And what I'm feeling here is, for those of you who are resonating with these messages, your intuition is on point. And as a result of being really plugged in to spiritual truth, to divine truth, it's really important that you nurture and care for yourself as you begin to share your truth, perhaps in expanded ways, in expanded circles, right? Because a lot of us, and I'm guilty as charged here, have held ourselves back within our circles of, family and friends, because there seems to be this idea now that if we all don't believe what the TV says, what the television tells us, then like we're some conspiracy nut and we really lack common sense. And quite honestly, I feel that that's in the inversion, because it's the other way around. Here in my part of the world, I'm not sure where you're at, although I have heard in Australia that they've had the worst bug season. We used to get the cold and the flu every year. In Australia, they've just come through the worst cold and flu season, or worst flu season. Here in Canada, there's the same thing. I don't really watch the news at all. I put it on briefly yesterday. I was just curious as to what's being said. It's back. For 2 years, we haven't had, those things I just mentioned. They haven't been here. The FLU or the COLD. We haven't had those seasons. It's just been the Rona. And now they're back. And apparently they're terrible and they're affecting children the most. It's a new school year, right? Kids their immune systems have been compromised by either taking the medicine, and if they haven't taken it, their systems have been compromised by the use of all the hand sanitizers and the face coverings and all of that. So now they're back in school, of course. And it's a lot of respiratory stuff. Isn't that interesting? Lots of it's really affecting the respiratory system. Well, duh. And on top of that, here we have a shortage, supply chain issues or something. Again, everything is by design, but there is a by design shortage of things that parents would use to, support, reduce fever, reduce symptoms of the bugs that are around. So again, for those who have the eyes to see, for those who are tuned into a higher level of consciousness, it's really critical at this time that you care for yourself. Don't worry what anyone else there is doing. Care for yourself. Be the beacon of hope. Be the beacon of light that, through truth, understanding, and compassion, supports to guide others to the safe harbor of their heart's shore. 3 cards fell out, and these are just some affirmations. Excuse me, I have to get down here. So just some affirmations for us to work with. I love these cards. And we've got another 38. We had that somewhere. So these are the 2 38s, the evolution card and the listening to my body. This is like our path of mastery. And the listening to my body card affirmation is, my health is my life, the temple of my experience and the greatest of my blessings. My health is my life, the temple of my experience and the greatest of my blessings. One more time. My health is my life, the temple of my experience and the greatest of my blessings. I love that. And then we have enlightenment and my creative power. So as you take time to sort of do that inner journeying, the radical self-care, perhaps you're being called to play a little bit more, get crafty, get creative. And the My Creative Power says, as I invest in my own creative potential, I experience my female creative genius. As I invest in my own creative potential, I experience my female creative genius. As I invest in my own creative potential, I experience my female creative genius. And as male or female, man or woman, one of the beauties of being human is that we have a masculine and a feminine side. I have a masculine side. I'm a woman with a masculine side. All women are. Men have a feminine side. And if we just want to break it down to sides of our body, the right side of our body is masculine. It is the giveaway side. It is, the masculine side. The left side of our body is feminine. It's our receiving side, how well we receive, how we nurture. And so when there's imbalance, we will see it in our body. So pay attention to your body, because your body is always speaking. And the Enlightenment card, here is our final affirmation. I am a woman choosing the power of my own consciousness as a vehicle for my growth. I find it interesting that we both two cards here, female and woman, that this has come up during this, at the end of this video. It speaks volumes to me. I am a woman choosing the power of my own consciousness as a vehicle for my growth. I am a woman choosing the power of my own consciousness as a vehicle for my growth. Thank you all so much for being here. I trust that something in here has supported you. If you've made it this long, perhaps it has. Hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down, whatever. Any engagement is engagement. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. My ear is ringing off the hook right now, so it feels like there's an incoming message. Perhaps I will be sharing that over on Wisdom of the Heart on Facebook. I wish you all a beautiful week. I'll be back with you. We'll be back before the eclipse season begins. Peruse the channel. Lots of new content has been up. I'm going to be recording one for later in November, actually, a little bit later today. And so, yes, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. I look forward to connecting with you again in the near future, one-on-one. Until then, I see you, I feel you, I love you. Take good care of yourself. You are so worthy and deserving of your time and attention.